if you've felt like your marketing is getting harder, if you feel like the algorithms are punishing you, even though you're an expert, you're not crazy. You're just living through one of the most amazing historical inversions in human existence. We're witnessing the real time destruction of online trust. And it's going to wipe out 90% of the personal brands currently operating on the internet. So, later in this video, I'm going to show you the bifurcation map. It's two specific directions that capital is moving in, like right now. So, if you aren't positioned on one of those two lines, your revenue is going to zero. But to understand where we're going, we've got to look at the physics of where we came from. For 200,000 years, the verification method for trust was proximity. If I couldn't see you, touch you, or smell you, I didn't trust you. Trust was exclusively analog. It's high bandwidth, it's in real life. So, if you told me that you're a good hunter, I didn't like a cave painting, I watched you bring back the deer, like the proof is physical. So, this limited the scale of human cooperation to Dunbar's number. It's the upper limit of the number of people you can have a meaningful relationship with, and that's about 150 ish people. You couldn't do business with a stranger because you couldn't really verify their reputation, and also there weren't that many strangers to do business with, anyways. Then we invented institutions, banks, governments, religions. These were trust proxies. You've got an account at the bank. I trust the bank, so I trust your check. We're both part of the same religion. I trust this religion. I trust you. This worked for centuries, okay, like for hundreds, thousands of years, right? Then the internet happens. So back in the 90s, when I first got online, the internet was a zero trust environment. You didn't use your real name. You certainly didn't put your credit card in a browser. And my parents told me never get in a car with a stranger. Then, around the 2000s, something happened. The whole script got flipped. We entered the default trust era. I mean, we started using our real names on Facebook. We put our credit cards into Amazon, and now any kind of e commerce website that you can go to, you're going to put your details in. We even summon strangers from the internet to drive us in their personal cars, Uber, right? We've outsourced our trust verification to the platform, and we assumed that if it was on the screen, it's probably true. And that shift birthed the influencer. The influencer was an arbitrage play on default trust. So if you had a blue check mark and a curated feed, the audience assumed you were credible. So this created a phenomenon I call legitimacy laundering. I mean, think about the classic guru in a rented Lamborghini. He doesn't own the car, he rents it for 4 hours, he drives it to a nice driveway where he doesn't own the house, take 50 photos, changes his outfit 5 times, and then that's the material he posts for the next 2 months. So he takes the reality of zero competence and wraps it in a signal of high status and then broadcasts that. He's laundering his lack of authority through a rented prop. And because our brains were running on default trust, we all bought it. Didn't even think about it. Our monkey brains did it for us. We think, well, he's got the car, he must have the money, uh, he's got to have the skill, right? Like our little monkey brains did that on autopilot without our conscious mind ever even being aware of it in the first place. But the laundering isn't just financial, it's emotional too. And the internet has given birth to an even bigger scam called catfishing, right? We trust the interface, the platforms so much that people are falling in love with JPEGs and profile images. Intelligent people empty their life savings for partners that they've never ever met. That's bonkers to me. That's incredible. People are building entire relationships with people posing as somebody that they aren't. And that digital platform makes it easy for that to happen. So, why are people doing this? Well, because we stopped verifying reality. We see a profile picture, we see a chat log, and our brains just fill in the rest. Okay. We assume that the person on the screen was the person in reality. Like, why would they not be the same thing? That doesn't even make sense as a question. So that is the peak of the default trust. We're naive. We thought the internet was a mirror of the real world. I'm open and honest online, therefore everybody else is too. But the internet is not reality. It's a hall of mirrors. This fragility is exactly why I built the personal media lab. Inside the lab, we track this. We realize that the Lambo grift and the digital facade were working for a while, but they are temporary. We realize that the audience, they're not naive anymore. The audience is traumatized, and rightfully so. They're not just mad about it, they're openly hostile and cynical, which is a completely reasonable reaction in response to the world today. But inside the lab, we teach our members to stop chasing these fake status signals, which are new, like now toxic assets, and start engineering actual authority. So, if you're building your business on legitimacy laundering strategies from 2018, you are sunk. You're done for. Because that era, the era of default trust, it's done. It is over. We are currently watching AI poisoning the information supply. It just at the core. Generative AI has poisoned the well. I mean, text can be hallucinated, images can be generated. Hell, even video is getting convincing nowadays. Voices can be cloned. There's not a lot left that lets us authenticate reality in a digital fashion beyond cryptographic solutions that are still down the road. Okay. But I want you to really think about the psychological impact of this. When you see a beautifully written LinkedIn post, which is kind of an oxymoron, maybe, but when you see something like that, your brain used to think, wow, this person sure is smart. Now your brain thinks, wow, ChatGPT sure did that in 2 seconds. So when you see a polished like presentation or image that somebody's projecting, your brain used to think, man, they are so successful. And you're thinking, boy, I want to live their life. But now your brain thinks, yeah, I bet that's Mid Journey. Yeah, it's all fake. So the default trust setting in the human brain is getting switched off. We're reverting back to zero trust. And that's kind of awesome from a punk rock perspective. Just watching this whole thing fall apart is kind of interesting. When nobody knows if you're human or a sophisticated LLM, the value of digital content basically drops to zero, right? That's why content marketing is so difficult nowadays. It's just all noise, it's all spam. With or without AI, it doesn't matter because how can we tell the difference? It's the dead internet theory just come to life. So the question is, when all digital content becomes worthless, where does the value go? Or what's the value of content? Where does the money go? Where are people investing? What are people paying for nowadays? This brings us to the bifurcation map that I promised you at the beginning of the video, because the market is splitting into two extreme directions with absolutely zero middle. Like the middle is dead. Okay, so it's either this way or that way, no in between. So, direction one, the return to analog. All right, because my bet is that we're about to see a massive resurgence in high ticket, in person experiences. Maybe not trade shows and stuff, but think group DMs brought to meet space, right? Maybe that's a tagline. You can use it, make $1 million off of it, give me 5%, right? But it'll probably be masterminds, offsites, private dinners, handshakes, and kind of backroom deals. bro, you just had to be there, that kind of thing. Why? Well, because being in the room is the only thing that AI can't spoof. Proximity is becoming a luxury good, which is weird to think about. So that's the first direction. The direction number two, the second direction, is proof of work. And so in the crypto world, you got proof of work, proof of stake. I'm a fan of proof of work. Now, obviously, we can't do everything in person without the internet. Proximity is powerful, but it doesn't scale, right? So if you do want to scale, if you want to broadcast your message, you need leverage. And this is an important distinction that we've got to make. This is where synchronous and asynchronous trust is critical. All right. So synchronous, asynchronous, synchronous meaning happening all at the same time together. Asynchronous means out of phase. This happens, then that some other time. All right. So for most of human history, throughout all human history, building trust was synchronous. We had to be in the same place at the same time, doing the same things with the same people, and it's all right there in meat space. Sure, it's high bandwidth, but it's unscalable. I could only build trust with the people around me in the room right now. That's it. If you're not in the room, good luck. You missed your chance. So the internet, though, promised us asynchronous trust. You could write a blog post and then a year later, somebody could read it while you're sleeping and then go, man, this guy's ideas are awesome. I love him. I'm going to buy his book or whatever. But AI has destroyed the low bandwidth asynchronous channels of building trust, right? Text is cheap, images are fake. You can no longer build trust asynchronously with a tweet, right? So, what's left? What options do we have to build that trust at scale? In my estimation, in my book, in my experience, there's only one option. There's only one thing. It's long form video. It's the only viable asynchronous trust vehicle left to us, and maybe even live streaming as generative video gets better and better. But just think about it. If you post a tweet, there's a 10-minute window or whatever where it's going to be pushed out into the world where somebody might see it for 4 seconds. All right, so 4 seconds, that's a transaction. Right, that's it. That's not a connection. That's not a relationship. That's just a quick transaction. But if they watch a 20-minute video, they spend 1,200 seconds with you. That's a relationship. So when someone watches hours of your content, they learn your voice, they learn your mannerisms, they learn how you think. And what's happening is that they're forming a parasocial bond with you. But here's the strategic key: it's asymmetric, right? It doesn't happen at the same time. You, as the creator, are creating this thing, and then other people are discovering it on their own time. They're spending time with you, but you are not spending time with them, which is kind of cool that that's possible. So while they're bonding with your thoughts at 2 a.m. in Tokyo or whatever, you're sleeping in Chicago or however that time zone math works out. You get the idea. You're building leverage because you're sharing your ideas in a way that persists over time that an infinite number of people could connect with in a way that transcends the AI poisoned well, right? The influencer thinks they need to be online 24/7, grinding for attention in real time and posting and reacting right away. But the modern operator builds a library of deep assets that do the bonding for them. And long form video allows you to scale the intimacy of synchronous trust with the leverage of asynchronous delivery, which is pretty darn cool. It's kind of weird to think about, but it has been the benefit of media since forever. The first broadcast mediums is just that we don't have any gatekeepers keeping your message away from the people who might want to hear it. So that brings us to the new definition of a personal brand. Personal branding is not buzzwords, it's not logos, it's not about color palettes, it's not about vibes. A personal brand is this. It's simply the control of narrative. It's taking control of your story. It's telling the right story in the right way at the right time in front of the right people so that they share the right stories about you when you're not around. And the only way to control the narrative in an AI world is to build a robust media arm. Right? You need a broadcast capability that's immune to all the AI noise and slop, right? So you've got to protect yourself from the enslopification of the internet. If you rely on the old signals, right, curated photos, pithy tweets, text only stuff, you're going to get drowned out by the bots. You will rightly be perceived as a commodity. Like, why pick this one over that one? It's all AI anyway, who cares? But if you engineer a consensus engine using long form video and high touch experiences, you become the signal, right? The influencer is dead. The strategic operator is here. All right. Now, if you want to know exactly how to build this infrastructure, how to map your own revenue topology and network experiences together that are profitable, I've got a video right here that breaks down the curse of knowledge and why it's literally costing you millions. All right, so go give that a watch, and I'll see you there.